face is not.
I'm sorry?
Your face is totally covered up.
Yes.
Why?
Again, that is
Like a
because of
KKK then?
the pandemic going on, so I'm wearing a mask.
Gotcha. All right.
Yes.
Question.
All right.
All right, guys, so there you go. We had that on public record just in case. This was just an interaction between a couple of citizens here at the protest for some reason. So there you go.
Just one question.
I am media. I do not have opinions on this. I'm sorry. I can record statements, but that's about it. I can't just keep focusing here. I'm here to record the full event.
No, you answer my question.
So again, guys, I'm here just to record events and not here to engage with people, but I am here to show you guys what is happening here at the level, at ground level.
Hello everyone, I just wanted to say hi. My name is Jay and I am with the coalition of organizers that put these events together in the last few months. We have an official Kansas City live stream. So for all events that we will be at, for all things that we will be doing when it comes to racial justice in Johnson County and Kansas City, Missouri, we have an official Twitch live stream going. We're using Twitch because we feel it's the safest platform. I'm going to share it to my Facebook page. My Facebook name is Jay Moyer, Jaemoyer. But if you have Twitch, please feel free to hop on there and look at it and also share it to your social media. We want to get as many eyes on this live stream as possible. The Twitch handle is at KC_protests with an S on the end. I'm going to say that again. KC_protests with an S on the end. So if you see that shared on Facebook or if you go on Twitch yourself, and you see that, please share it so that we can have as many people watching it. And I am going to now give this microphone to Brian.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. So before we move on to the speakers portion, we actually have someone here who wrote a few poems, and he's going to perform one or two of those right now. So his name is Brandon Schmidt. Give a round of applause to him, please.
My name's Brandon Schmidt. I'm a youth pastor at Wyandotte United Methodist. I've been marching for about a month and a half now, and this is the most recent poem I wrote this last week, entitled Program Error. Error 816, justice not found. An unarmed black man is slain by police because a drunk white man falsely accused him of stealing a phone. Home of the largest police department in the country to refuse to try and reform this racist institution. Error 913, justice not found. Wyandotte County leads the nation in COVID rates amongst minorities. Jackson County has peaceful protests violently disrupted by police. Error, USA, justice not found. A black man is 5 times more likely to see a jail cell than I am. 1 in 3 black men will be arrested before they die. Justice is blind. She is faithful to the program she is tasked with. But for too long, the programmers have worn white hoods. For white power lobbies buy them to further their agendas, to line their own pockets. You know their dog whistle, law and order. Now hear mine, justice and mercy. Because until these errors are fixed, I will not get with that program.
So I just wanted to welcome everyone. My name is Brian Bocard, and I helped organize tonight's event because I live in Waldo. This is my neighborhood. I'm not here as a white man to co-opt this movement. I'm here as a neighbor who sees an unjust system that is suppressing and killing our black neighbors. I'm here to uplift and amplify black voices. I'm here to light a fire under my neighbors and this community to get off of social media and get out into these streets. Before I go any further, I want to take a quick poll just to kind of get a sense of who I'm talking to here. If this is your first protest, raise your hand. Okay, so we're all experienced protesters. That's great. Now, another quick question. If you live in Waldo or in one of the surrounding neighborhoods, or you work in Waldo, raise your hand. Okay, great. We have some Waldo neighbors here. Good to see you, neighbor. I wanted to organize this event in Waldo because I know how weird and lovely of a neighborhood this is, and I say that in the best way possible. Waldo, we need your weirdness, your creativity, your artistic skills in this movement. We need people that can think outside of the box. As you listen to the various speakers tonight, I want you to find at least one group or one person who you can get behind and support. Follow these groups on Facebook and social media. Reach out to someone. Keep getting involved in these actions. We need you to be involved. I also want to thank the Waldo business community, which has been supportive of tonight's action. And note that if you need to use the bathroom at any time, Summit Grill has graciously offered the use of their restrooms. Just enter from the west side at the parking lot entrance and wear a mask, please. I'd like to now read our demands for the evening. 1, we want justice for Ryan Stokes, Donnie Sanders, Cameron Lamb, Terrence Bridges, and all other black lives taken by KCPD. These aren't just names. These aren't just chants. These are people who were taken away from their families and loved ones. And tonight you will hear from Yo Sanders in a little bit. Number 2, fire KCPD Chief Rick Smith. Fire Rick Smith! Fire Rick Smith! Fire Rick Smith! Fire Rick Smith! Chief Smith is not interested in accountability. At the Unity March on June 3rd, Chief Smith and Mayor Lucas told us we were getting police body cams. Where are they? Instead, we got 225 federal agents patrolling our streets as a re-election ploy for Donald Trump. On May 30th, I was standing next to a black woman and her children when KCPD came in and dropped tear gas all around us. We were just sitting in a park.
That ain't right.
That's not right. Right.
What kind of a person thinks it's okay to tear gas children? Let me read what Chief Smith had to say about the police response to these protests. I quote, "It is a fine balance in keeping a peaceful demonstration and one getting out of hand. On the face of it, it looks like all of our policies were followed on face value." End quote. If your policies say tear gassing children and pregnant women is okay, or that pulling a protester off the sidewalk and macing them in the face is okay, you and your police force have no place in any position of power. Number 3, we want local control of KCPD. We spend $273 million on the police budget in Kansas City, nearly 40% of the general fund. And yet we only get 1 seat on the Police Board of Commissioners out of 5 seats. We pay 100% of the bills and only get 20% of the oversight. We need local control now. Contact your city council members and Mayor Lucas to let them know that they need to make local control a legislative priority. If you live in Waldo, that means you need to be contacting Councilwoman Andrea Boo and Councilman Kevin McManus and Mayor Lucas and anyone else in the city. Contact your council members to let them know how you feel about this. And number 4, no KCPD takeover of airport security. You may have seen this in the news recently. Mayor Lucas wants KCPD to take over airport security. What doesn't he get? We want less cops, not more. We shouldn't reward bad actors by giving them more power. What sense does that make? Again, if you live in Waldo, you need to be contacting Andrea Boo and Kevin McManus, Mayor Lucas. All of you need to be contacting the mayor and your council members. You need to let them know that, one, we want local control of KCPD. And we do not want an expansion of this police force. Now, I want to take a little bit to talk to all the white people here, white person to white person. I'm going to need you all to get uncomfortable with being uncomfortable. Let me say that again. I'm going to need you to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. There are going to be things you hear tonight that are going to make you uncomfortable. You may think to yourself, oh, I don't know if I'd go that far. Or, oh, that sounds a little bit angry. Or that's a little bit too radical. When those thoughts pass through your head, ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Too often we ask ourselves the wrong question. Am I racist?
No, but she is. She's racist.
This question creates a false dichotomy for ourselves that makes it too easy to answer, no, I'm not racist. When we need, as white people, as non-black people, what we need to be asking ourselves, rather, is against whom am I prejudiced, and to what extent am I prejudiced? Again, against whom am I prejudiced? To what extent am I prejudiced? That makes the question a little bit more uncomfortable for yourself. And I say good. Growing up, my mom told me that if you're comfortable, it means you're not learning, you're not growing. So again, I'm asking you to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Confronting our own inherent racist tendencies is not fun. It's uncomfortable. It's embarrassing. And it's necessary. It is long overdue. So to introduce the theme for tonight's resistance, I want to read a portion of the Declarations of Independence that you're probably familiar with. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Now we know what that meant at the time, but today, that means all men, all women, all trans, all gender non-binary, everyone of every race and creed are created equal. That they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's the theme for tonight's event. Black lives, Black liberty, and Black happiness. Because all of these things matter. So I want you to repeat after me. Black lives matter.
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter.
Black liberty matters.
Black liberty matters.
Black liberty matters.
Black liberty matters.
Black happiness matters.
Black happiness matters.
Black happiness matters.
Black happiness matters.
That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it. And I think you're going to hear a little bit more about that abolish later tonight. And to institute new government, laying its foundations on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall most likely to affect their safety and happiness. We need a system that protects the safety and happiness of all of our neighbors, our Black neighbors. As you listen to the speakers tonight, keep in mind that theme, Black lives, Black liberty, Black happiness, because all of these matter. Thank you. So next I'd like to introduce Yo Sanders, the sister of Donnie Sanders, and she's going to say a few words.
Hi everybody, my name is Waldo Sanders. I'm the sister of the oldest sister, Donnie Sanders. My brother was shot and killed by KCPD March the 13th. He was shot in his back. He was shot because he ran. Officer claimed that it was a traffic violation. He reported that my brother had got out and ran, and he shot him. He shot him 3 times. Shot him in his back. He shot him in his, well, it came out of his back, came out of his stomach. He got shot in his leg, and he was also shot in the side of his arm. He got killed because he ran. That ain't right. So I'm here, you know, I support, and I appreciate everybody out here that's supporting us as far as trying to get justice for my brothers. Hopefully the prosecutor will see it the same way and do her job. Fire Rick Smith.
Fire Rick Smith!
Fire Rick Smith.
Fire Rick Smith! Fire Rick Smith! Fire Rick Smith! Fire Rick Smith! Fire Rick Smith!
I really didn't come here to, you know, I mean, I have no speech or nothing, but I think everybody can pretty much tell how we feel. And like I said, basically, we just want justice for my brother.
Yeah.
Next we have Jay, who's going to speak on behalf of White Rose Society.
Hi everyone. My name is Jay Moyer, and I'm with an organization called White Rose, formerly White Rose Society. We do work in Kansas and Kansas City, Missouri, to bring racial justice to our communities. I was thinking about what to say because I didn't really have anything prepared, but I just want everyone to look around for a minute. Look and see how everything is rooted in systemic racism. There's a billboard right behind me promoting a man's business who ran for the United States Senate in the state of Kansas on racist, homophobic values and launched horrible television ads discriminating against everyday Americans, like everyone who's here today. That's not right. Everything you see, everywhere you go, something is rooted in systemic racism. And it is our job as activists, as allies, as friends and family members, to question these things every single time we see them. If we don't question this systemic racism, if we don't call it out for what it is, if we don't boycott businesses, if we give money to people in a capitalist society that tells us that some people are less important than others on the basis of their skin color, then we are not doing enough. We are upholding racism by supporting things in our society that are hurting other Americans. That's not who I want to be. So as an ally, as a friend, I call on every single person here today to find out what in your community and in our society is actually actively oppressing other people that are around us. And if you can do that and you can get other people to do that, you can bring that to your workplace, you can bring that to your friends and your school, your education. If you can do that in every facet of your life, then and only then will you be anti-racist, which is what we need to make America a better place to live for everyone in it. I challenge you to do that. Look up the history of businesses. Look up the names of community leaders and politicians and see if they have really done that in their society. Because if you don't, you are only helping them discriminate even further. That's all I had to say. Thank you. And I'm gonna give it to Miller Dream. No, yeah, let's let Miller Dream speak.
So, just like my brother said here, it's important that we look into everywhere. We pay attention when we're at the hospitals and at the doctor's offices and in the stores and in the schools. We pay attention to the teachers and the administration and watch how they handle our children. And we need to make sure that things are equitable. You know, when we see that they don't have supplies, when we see that they don't have books, that they don't have access to the technology, that they don't have computers, and yet they're being taught virtually. I mean, so that's not equity, right? And when we talk about systemic racism, that's what we're talking about. Why do some kids not have the same resources and materials in their schools, the same teachers, the same kind of, and just the same quality, okay, that quality, okay, they deserve that quality education, just like we deserve quality health care, and I'm saying that from experience. Look inside those hospitals, when these black women are receiving health care and not receiving health care, really, and our black babies are dying. We need to open our eyes and we need to speak up. So, I'll stand here before you as a teacher. I'm going to continue standing up for all these babies who can't speak up for themselves. So, you keep seeing me.
Hello, you all. My name is Rachel. I'm also another rep of the Miller Dream. And today, I'm here to educate you about redlining. And me being shy of only 20 years old, I know that being prepared to tell you guys the right information, I would have to go and do some research. And I will tell you what I found in my research only radicalized me more, and to an extent that I knew it would radicalize people if they knew about this. Because me, being a black person, I would say to myself, I understand what overt racism is, but I don't see a lot of the closeted side conversation of racism being discussed. And that's what redlining is. I'm going to try and wait for them to pass by. And I'm here to tell you today that redlining is most definitely one of those hidden forms of racism. And the only reason that it has continued for as long as it has continued is because we, and because of the white comfortability of it's not happening to me. And so we have to look into why we allow things like this to keep happening to others. Because during the times when slaves were freed, especially on the border of Kansas, redlining really, Thomas Johnson, people like Thomas Johnson, Johnson County, people like J.C. Nichols, these are the pioneers of redlining. Because once slaves were freed and there was an urban crisis, there was that battle between Missouri side and the Kansas side. There were Jayhawks that would come and massacre racists and vice versa. It was total warfare. And over time, they decided to cause a split. They don't want anyone in their areas that either supported black people or were black. So they pioneered this thing to say these people are not good people. Black people are dirty. They bring the value of our houses down. And it still reigns true today. When white people populate a more urban city, it becomes gentrified. And we have all learned as a society to accept it. We have all learned as a society that this is normal and it is not subject for outrage. And I am telling you, it is harmful to black people and it deserves outrage. It deserves outcry. It deserves every bit of motivation and every day. Because where you live right now determines whether you get arrested for weed. Where you live right now determines the type of food that you're going to receive, the type of highways, the type of roadways you're going to get, and that's not right. And it was all conjured up to protect white fragility, to protect that necessity of blacks are dirty, they're bad, they bring the value of everything down. So we must dismantle that. We must dismantle redlining. And that's all I have to say. I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Lance, but I'm commonly called L Train the Anarchist. I represent a group called Fight for Freedom Kansas City, or F3 as we're commonly known. See us out here running security for these marches a lot. Anyway. What attracted me to this group is basically we just kind of fell together because of a common ideological political belief, and that's basically that when one of us in chains, none of us are free. And y'all know the chant: we have nothing to lose but what? Our chains, right? Exactly. That being said, I kind of wanted to. Okay, I kind of just wanted to link.
Step back a few steps.
Behind the car.
All right, my bad. All right, anyway, I wanted to just talk a little bit about how my political ideology connects to police and prison abolition. I believe in defunding and all that. I believe that steps to it, but I kind of want to take it a little step further. Anyway, before I began to recognize and identify as an anarchist, I first identified myself as a black man. The term anarchist gets thrown around quite a bit these days, especially by a certain occupant of the White House who can't seem to stay off Twitter for some reason. He and others like him would have the people believe that an anarchist is a terrorist, a hooligan, a sower of chaos and disorder, a quote-unquote definition that couldn't be further from the truth. Anarchism, the political ideology to which I ascribe, is about building. It's about building a future of true democracy free from oppressive and coercive systems of control by the state. This brings me to the whole point of this speech. Being an anarchist and being a black person go very hand in hand, I believe. To be black when the law and order of the land is whiteness is to already be adverse to the state. To recognize one's own oppression and to have a willingness to fight against it and to hope to even overthrow it is being an anarchist, at least to me. And this is why I hope to dismantle these systems of control, including but not limited to the police, the prison industrial complex, all of that. Rooted in white supremacy, they are nothing more than a post-Chattel slavery system, the most blatant form of capitalism. And profit from the suffering of black and other politically marginalized people has been the disease plaguing this country for hundreds of years. And to me, I see anarchism as the cure. Thank you, that's all I have to say. I guess it's back to him.
All right, to finish things off, Stacy Shaw is going to give us a little pep talk and do some training with us. So I'm sure many of you know Stacy, and here she is.
Okay, we're going to try this one more time. The word Ashe is Swahili,
for power. And the reason why I am having us say ashamed and responding with power, because we are channeling. I gotta stay back. Even though I like to come close, We are channeling the spirit, the ancestral spirit of African warriors before they were kidnapped and they were brought to America. And so I'm going to get my pep talk, my power talk, I'm going to get it started off right. So when I say Ashe, you are going to respond with power. Ashe! 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 But I need you all to be more convicted. Because many people think that I am powerful because I have a law license. And when I talk to people about power, I tell them that in this movement I've not used my law license one single time. Because to be an activist, to be a revolutionary, to change the world, you do not need to be qualified. You do not need a certification. You don't need a certain level of education. You don't need the right type of friends. You don't need the right amount of social media followers. You don't need a certain amount of money. Each of us is born in power. And so we're going to give this one more go. And when I say Ashe, I need you to channel that power that you were born with. Channel the power of the inner warrior. Channel the power that you are using to change the destiny of America. So when I say Ashe, 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 Merriam-Webster Dictionary, they define democracy as a form of government where supreme power is vested in the people. So when we say Ashe, 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 when we're saying that, that is an American concept. When they say that we're too radical, when they say that we're terrorists, they're forgetting that the concept of democracy in 1776 was a radical concept in the face of monarchy. So when we say Ashe, when we say Ashe, we are speaking as Americans that are entitled to the dreams and the promises written in the Constitution. It doesn't matter what we look like. It doesn't matter who we love, how we identify, what our gender is, what our socioeconomic status is, because we are standing right here. That promise belongs to all of us. It belongs to all of our black and brown brothers and sisters. There should be no reason that the children growing up on 75th and Prospect don't have the same rights as the children who are growing up on 75th and Wardle. So don't get confused when we are saying Black Lives Matter. We're not just saying we want to survive the night, that we want to survive a police bullet, that we want to survive being thrown on the pavement, we want to survive being caged like animals. What we are saying is that we want black lives, black children we matter. We want our children who grow up on 75th and Prospect. We want their lives to be actualized. If they dream of being an astronaut, if they dream of being a lawyer, the fact that they are born on a different side of town should not mean that their life does not matter, that their dreams don't matter, that they are not the promise, they are not the hope that all of us have been waiting for. So we are not just protesters. We are not just activists. We are warriors.
Yes.
We are warriors for freedom, warriors for justice, warriors for equality, warriors for equity. We are not just protesters. This is just not an activity. This is a resistance, and we are marching, we are resisting, we are fighting as warriors in a resistance to change the destiny of America. Now, as warriors, we have to be disciplined. And so, every single time you go to a protest, every single time you go to a resistance activity, you are going to be trained. Because we are warriors and we cannot fight this war against white supremacy, against systemic racism, without discipline and without training. Every time you come to an action, you will be educated. And the reason why we need to educate everyone, whether you are black, whether you are brown, or you are a white ally, because we do not want you to use your power to build another system that you've created in your ignorance to be even worse than the system that we have right now. I'm going to say it again. We do not, in our ignorance, want to create a system that is equal or worse than the system that we are dismantling. And so people don't realize how powerful we have been making ourselves week after week. 13 weeks. 13 weeks we have been growing in power. We've been growing in knowledge. We have been growing in numbers. We have been growing in courage and resolve. People don't realize where our power comes from. And I can tell you right now, it doesn't come from being qualified. Because we were chosen. Some of us even chose ourselves. And we didn't need a certificate. We're getting trained right here. And so I'm going to talk to you and train you over some very, very important hand signals. We are moving away from giving verbal commands. The first one is stop. Okay, this is important. It is not black power, it is stop. Okay? So stop, like you're banging on a door. Okay, what does this mean? Stop. Okay, I need everybody's hands in the air. We're doing muscle memory. What does this mean? Stop. Okay, second one, we are marching. So we want to make sure we don't leave people in the back. So, slow down, 90-degree angle. Flat line, forward, backward, forward, backward, forward, backward. That is slow down. What is this? Stop. Okay, what is this? Slow down. Okay, where are my Waldo moms? I need my Waldo moms to the front. Waldo moms to the front. Right here, Waldo moms. Be looking, 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 looking. Okay, good. Man, we got some sprightly moms today. Okay, moms. Okay, so this is a W. This means wall. I'm going to be honest with you. The police are already staging. We don't know if there's going to be riot police coming against us or not. And so when we have police contact, one of the leaders is going to throw up a W. And when you see this W, every single person needs to throw up this W, because that means that we are deploying our wall. Our wall of moms, our wall of veterans, our wall of whoever we can get. We got this wall. All right, so, very important. Very important. We have 2 lawyers on call, and every single action, there will be an attorney on call besides myself. I'm a licensed attorney, but I am always inside the protest. These attorneys are from Liberty Lawyers of KC. It's a new rising organization. Give it up for Liberty Lawyers, KC. And remember, we are training. So we will be chanting their names, because when you get arrested, the first thing you're going to do is give your name and date of birth to an official witness. The official witnesses, official witnesses come up. Just for identification purposes, official witnesses are going to be wearing these green vests. They are not a part of the protest. They are not a part of the protest. They will not hold a sign. They will not go live. They are only here to observe for legal purposes. And they are under the direct supervision of our attorneys on call. So repeat after me. Craig Divine.
Craig Divine.
So the call and response is going to be, who's my lawyer?
Craig Divine.
Who's my lawyer?
Craig Divine.
Okay, we've got 2, so we're going to say Craig Napier next. But you know, for this purpose, is it okay if we just say your name, Craig Divine? Okay, good. So we've got a backup attorney, Craig Napier. Please, Craig Napier, Craig Divine, please raise your hand so people know who you are. Yes! 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 Okay, Liberty Lawyers, KC came through. All right. Who's my lawyer?
Craig Divine.
Who's my lawyer?
Craig Divine.
This is important, because if you are arrested today, and once, and I'm going to go over this too, once we throw up this wall, before we throw up the wall, or after, you're going to see colors, okay? Because remember, we are going to hand signs. What does this mean?
Down. Slow down. Wall.
Very good, very good. Okay, that's really important. Wall. Okay, we're going to have color guards. I need 2 color guards, and you're going to meet me afterwards before we march. This is important because people may not be paying attention to the signs, but we are training you to pay attention to hand signs and colors, okay? So, we're going to go over this really quick, and I'll get better slides for next time. I'm not super crafty. Okay. Red is stop. What does red mean?
Stop.
Very good. Next one. When we call for that wall, it's going to be blue. What does blue mean?
Wall.
Okay. Last one I'm going to go over with you. Actually, one more before this one. Yellow means slow down. What does yellow mean?
Slow down.
And color guards, we're going to do a little bit better for you next time. But here's how it looks. Okay? Yellow means?
Slow down.
Blue.
Wall.
Ooh, this is, okay, we need special training for this. Okay. Stop. Very good. This is going to be important because we're moving as a unit. We have to move with discipline. Okay, the last thing, and this came in handy in Overland Park. We're not afraid of the damn police.
No, we're not.
That's first thing. I'm not afraid of the police. They better act with a whole lot of professionalism when they come up in here.
Period.
They better act with a whole lot of professionalism because we have 3 attorneys.
Right.
And we got a whole lot of them behind these 3 attorneys.
We have the power.
So unless they want to miss their rent payment, they better act with a whole lot of professionalism. But we know, because I've been maced twice, I've been tear gassed twice, I've been arrested unlawfully twice, we know that they don't know how to act. So, the most important one that is going to be today, when we wave this white flag, that means that we're switching to tactical. Okay, we're going to do an example. What does this mean? Tactical. Okay, so tactical means a couple of things. Alright, so usually people have to sit in an hour with these trainings. We're doing this training in less than 10 minutes. Okay, so white means tactical. Immediately, the people that are team yellow means you have zero ability to get arrested. Okay, if you cannot get arrested or you have children, you are on our yellow team. That means that you immediately report to the sidewalk. Immediately, without hesitation. When you see a white flag, tactical. Okay, and so if you're on team yellow, what are you going to do? And we are going to evacuate you immediately. Okay? We will have 1 minute to switch over from our regular signs to tactical signs when we see the white flag. It is very important. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do, yellow team goes to the sidewalk. All children go to the sidewalk. We immediately go to tactical. The only people that remain in position are team red. Team red means you are good to go for arrest. I'm going to say that again. You are good to go for arrest if you are team red. This is not a walk in the park. This is an act of resistance. There are parents that brought their children here today because they want their children to know what their value should be in resisting oppression. They want their children to grow up to be freedom fighters. And before we ask our children to do something, we have to model it. So we can't say that we want our kids to grow up to be freedom fighters and we don't show them what resistance looks like. So it's really important if you are team red. If you are team red, you are go for arrest. If you are arrested, official witnesses will be coming to gather your name and your date of birth. And after this protest, we will have people signing up for revolutionary IDs. And I'll talk more about that later. So it's really important when we switch over to tactical, what does yellow team do? Sidewalk, immediately sidewalk. People that are remaining are what?
Red.
Red. And red means good for what?
Arrest.
You could be arrested. Okay? Okay, so team red, after we go to tactical, I'm going to show you two things. If the police line up against us, once we go to tactical, this is blue, still means the same thing, wall. Okay, so then we're going to link arms with wall. And when we go to tactical, that means that now we link arms. Okay? Now, when we go to tactical, this means hold your line. Hold. You are holding that line. You do not break arms. You do not cry out for help. You hold that line. Hold. And if we have to go to this signal, we are going to be chanting hold. Okay? We're going to be chanting hold. And we're going to organize you, the people that are holding, we're going to hold you, we're going to organize you in a line, and you hold that line. All right, so there may come a time when we have to get back on the march. If we've been here and we're holding, we're going to be looking for this. This means that we're going to march back. We're going to lock the hold, and we're going to rally back. Okay, what does this mean? We're about to march back. We'll break the hold. Okay, and so this is really important. Hold. Okay, and then when you see this, we're going to say rally. And that means that we're going to get back in formation to march. Now, we're not going to do it today, but I said formation because every single time when you come to a protest, I'm going to be adding things on. That's why it's important for you to come back, for you to tell your friends what you've learned here today. Because every time we are preparing you, we are training you, we are giving you more information to equip you as warriors. Because resistance just doesn't mean protesting and marching and holding signs. Resisting means sit-ins. Resistance may mean dancing. Resistance may be blocking the streets. We don't know all of the ways that we will be called to resist. So that's why it's important for you to be here for your training. We're going to go over one last time. Okay, you guys saw the difference. This says hold or black power. This is stop. Right here.
Stop. Slow down. Wall. Wall. Stop. Slow down.
Okay, very good. Ashe! 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 If you're on red team, we are not resisting arrest. This is the discipline. You cannot resist arrest. Immediately go into the cuffs. We are not going limp today. The risk is too great. We are not going limp today. If you get into handcuffs, walk to the paddy wagon, give your what? Name and date of birth to official witnesses. Legal name and date of birth. Very good, because we've got to find you to bond you out. Okay, Ashe! 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 Y'all ain't ready to march. We're going to try this one more time. Y'all ain't ready to march. I need warriors. I need people that are bold. I need people that ain't scared. I need people that are down to fight for their freedom. When I say, Ashe! Ashe! Let's get this started. Marshals! Marshals! Where's Brian? Here you go.
So again, just to give a little explanation to what's happening right now, the protesters are preparing to march, which I will be following along as press to document it and, you know, broadcast it to you guys. With that, that's pretty much it. That was just the instructions on how to go over it from the organizers. So from this point on, I'll just be following the march and only adding, again, comments for context.
Everybody wants to start making their way to this side here, because then we're going to take the street. So let's go.
And you're Ashley? Yeah. Awesome. So you're an organization.
Okay, I need 2 black bears. 2 color guards. 2 color guards.
You want to march in front of them and I'll march behind them.
I know y'all got fucked up, bro. Fucking, it sounded like Donald Duck to me.
Huh? It's like number 4 today. Exciting times. Thank you again.
go ahead and go on. Why you go about staying?
We who believe in freedom cannot live. I need y'all to sing along. We who believe in freedom cannot live. We who believe in freedom cannot live. We who believe in freedom cannot live until it comes. Believe in freedom cannot rest. I need it loud, I need it louder. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. Justice, we who believe in justice cannot rest. We who believe in justice cannot rest until it comes. Freedom, we who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. Justice, we who believe in justice cannot rest. We who believe in justice cannot rest until it comes. Black lives matter! 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 No justice! No peace! 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 What do we want? Justice! What do we want? Justice! What do we want? Justice! What do we want? Now! If we don't get it, shut it down! 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 What do we want? Justice! What do we want? Now! What do we want? Justice! What do we want? Now! If we don't get it, shut it down! 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 What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! How do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! If we don't get it, shut it down! 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 Black lives matter! 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 What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! If we don't get it, shut it down! 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 Say his name! Say his name! George Floyd! Say his name! George Floyd! Say his name! George Floyd! Brian Stokes! Say his name! 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 Brian Stokes! Breonna Hill! Say her name! Breonna Hill! Breonna Hill! Say her name! 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 Breonna Hill! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! If we don't get it, shut it down! 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 When do we want it? Donnie Sanders! When do we want it? Donnie Sanders! Justice! When do we want it? Now! If we don't get it, shut it down! 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 Our streets! Our streets! Our streets! Slow down, slow down, slow down. Okay.
Hey, slow down.
Okay, we're waiting for the rest of us. Okay, good. Black Lives Matter!
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 What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
If we don't get it,
Shut it down!
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 what do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
If we don't get it,
Shut it down!
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 no justice,
No peace!
no justice,
No peace!
no justice,
No peace!
no justice.
No peace! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Now! Justice! Now! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down!
I got excited.
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Justice! Now! Justice! Now! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! Justice! Now! Justice! Now! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! No peace! 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 Bloody Sanders! 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 Justice! Now! Justice! Now! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Ho ho! These racist cops have got to go! Hey hey! Ho ho! These racist cops have got to go! Hey hey! Ho ho! These racist cops have got to go! Hey hey! Ho ho! These racist cops have got to go! Hey hey! Ho ho! These racist cops have got to go! Hey hey! Ho ho! These racist cops have got to go! Hey hey! Ho ho! These racist cops have got to go! Hey hey! Ho ho! These racist cops have got to go! Ho ho! These racist cops have got to go! Ho ho! These racist cops have got to go! More states! More streets! 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 More states!
Very quickly, go, go, go! Crosswalk, go!
We need more people up. Okay, very quickly, we're taking up all streets in the intersection, all streets. In the intersection, we're moving quickly, very quickly. We're about to do an demonstration. We're about to do a demonstration. Okay, as you are getting into position, 129 people have been murdered because of systemic racism in Kansas City. We're all going to take a knee. We're going to hold right here for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, but during that time, we are going to read the names of all of the people murdered because of systemic racism in Kansas City. So when I say the name, I need you to repeat after me because we are holding space for these people. Sage Walston.
Sage Walston.
John Doe.
John Doe.
John Doe.
John Doe.
Maxwell Hill.
Maxwell Hill.
Stacy Bell.
Stacy Bell.
Jason T. Smith. Derek Davis. Ellen Jones.
Ellen Jones.
John Doe.
John Doe.
Michael Brown.
Michael Brown.
Henry Hampton.
Henry Hampton.
Anthony Taylor.
Anthony Taylor.
Breonna Johnson.
Breonna Johnson.
Dion Page. Larry Dickerson.
Larry Dickerson.
Sean Ricks.
John Rick.
Kyle Lager.
Carl Rager.
Cheyenne Wallace.
Cheyenne Wallace.
Waldo Resistance.
Waldo Resistance.
Simon Eichelberger.
Eichelberger.
Javon McCray.
Javon McCray.
Louis Davis.
Louis Davis.
Sylvester Sims.
Sylvester Sims.
Martise Amos.
Marquise Amos.
Desmond Starr.
Desmond Starr.
Billy Blanton.
Billy Blanton.
Michael Park.
Michael Park.
Charles Hampton.
Charles Hampton.
Pierre Williams.
Pierre Williams.
Kai Johnson. Sharon Douglas. Sharon Marshall. Valentino Hurd. Chantel Burrell. Legend Telefero. Ira Smith. Clyde Harris. Romello Shipman. Paul Garcia. Jamie Williams. Dejon Bauman. Marcus Stone. Davion Edwards. John Doe. William Slater. Trenton Phillips. Matthew Cox. Montel Ridley. Makilos Dean Jr. Traviance Ivy. Emmett Martin. Ivory Harris. Clarence Lyons. Marvin Francois. Anthony Ford Jr. Destiny Smith. Stephen Newby. Anton Martin. Matisse Villardo. Sarah Lowry. Tevin Grimmett. Victor Garrett. Javante D. Clark. Howard E. West. Marvin A. Larthrin. Scott Collier. Jeremy Sarton. Carlos Starr. Tyler Denson. Cleveland Fuller. Michael Groves.
Monrico Roseberry. Shay Henry. Damon Taylor. Elijah Zaka. Travis Stamper. Muntai Duncan. Gaklin Cuckoo Corey. Thomas Willett. Sammy Wire. Stacy Witherspoon. Donnie Standard, who was murdered by Kansas City Police Department. Darren Shelton. Michael Barton. Manuel Rodriguez Garcia. DeAndre Maggis. Joseph Delgado. Frederick Outley. Devin Harris. Devin Nolan. David Irving, who was murdered by the FBI. Antonio Smith. Rolando Perez Garcia. Karen Logan. Anthony Rice. Derek Donahue. Joshua Downing. Christopher Quinton. Derek Wallace. Richard Davis. Lavance Ellis. Miguel Padilla. Phyllis Banks. Andre Tolan. Amanda Dillon. Chase Byers. Raven Parks. Bobby J. Wallace. Derek Smith. Tina Moore. Georgia Pesh. Trayshawn Hawkins. DeAndre Chiney. Raphael Lee. Earl Finch. This should be just as painful as holding your breath for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. These were our brothers and sisters who were murdered in the city that we live in. And while people are honking their horns because they are too impatient to get through this light, we were holding space for people who were murdered in Kansas City. They deserve to be remembered. Their lives mattered. And we did not say that those people were black or white. Keep moving. Light blue.
No, record him get his license. I got it.
Need everybody to check it out. You guys move as a unit. Please make sure you follow
Hey, I need everybody.
Stay together.
Everybody stay
He can
together.
bark all he wants.
You're not security. Get back. KJ, look. Hi, you go. I know.
We have some ignorant people, but we're not going to pay attention to them, so just make sure that we move as a unit and that we follow directions.
No.
This is the third party hostility. Training in this is not engaged. Not engaged. Not engaged on this side only.
So I just want to give a little bit of context again. Someone driving by just tried to engage the protesters.
We're making a strategic decision right now. I need everybody on the right lane only, on the right lane only. We have hostile third parties, and hostile third parties can also be black. That is part of our education. That is part of our discipline. Right now we're making a strategic decision to let hostile parties go by. Shout out to the Kia. That's what I'm talking about. God bless you, brother. Step back. Everybody else up again. Stay here. Go ahead. Okay, that's the food. Who's free? 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 Black lives matter! 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 Who's free? Who's free? Who's free? Who's free? I die! Power! 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 I die! Power to the people! 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 No justice! No peace! 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 Now we didn't say that we were going to be peaceful. We said we were going to be non-violent because we are not going to give this city peace until they meet our demands. No justice. No peace. 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 Black lives matter. 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 No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. I say. Power. I say. Power. I say. Power. I say. Power. Power to the people. 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 Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Donnie Sanders. Donnie Sanders. Donnie Sanders. Justice for. Donnie Sanders. Justice for. Donnie Sanders. Justice for. Donnie Sanders. Say his name. Donnie Sanders. Justice for. Donnie Sanders. Say his name. Donnie Sanders. Justice for. Donnie Sanders. Say his name. Donnie Sanders. Justice for. now. Okay, we're gonna do this one more time. Okay, what do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. If we can't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut it down. No justice, no peace. 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 What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. If we don't get it, shut it down. 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 We who believe in freedom cannot rest. Let's hear the drums. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. I want to hear that drum. Where's it? We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. Justice. We who believe in justice cannot rest. We who believe in justice cannot rest until it comes. Freedom. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. Justice. We who believe in justice cannot rest. We who believe in justice cannot rest until it comes. We who believe in justice cannot rest. We who believe in justice cannot rest until it comes. No justice, no peace. 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 Okay. As we make it back, you remember what you saw here tonight. You remember that there are still people we need to educate. There are still people that even though they are black and brown, we have to help them be liberated in their own minds. No justice, no peace. 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 What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. If we don't get it, shut it down. 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 What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. If we don't get it, shut it down. 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 We want police ID. 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 Fire Rick Smith. 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 Ray. Fire Rick Smith. Fire Rick Smith.
because I feel I'm not saying anything yours. So when I say, I need you to say power as loud as you can. I say! I say! I say! I say! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! If we don't get it, shut it down! If we don't get it, shut it down! If we don't get it, shut it down! Whose streets? Our streets! Whose streets? Our streets! Whose streets? Our streets! Whose streets? Our streets! Say his name! George Floyd! 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 Say her name! Breonna Taylor! 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 When I say abolish, I need you to say police! Abolish! Police! Abolish! Police! Abolish! Police! Abolish! Police! Hey, we stand in solidarity. It's important that we know we stand in solidarity with our Palestinian brothers and sisters.
That's it.
When I say abolish, you say ICE. Abolish. ICE. Abolish. ICE. Abolish. ICE. Abolish. ICE. When I say abolish, you say police. Abolish. Police. Abolish. Police. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. We don't get it. Shut it down. 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 Black lives matter. 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 Fire Chief Smith. 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 Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Donnie Sanders, say his name! Donnie Sanders! 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 I say! I say! I say! I say! I say! I say! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! If we don't get it, shut it down! 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 Hey, we really appreciate everybody coming out here tonight. Give it up for yourselves real quick. As always, I think it's very important that we pay homage to the people who organized this. So, Brian, we want to say thank you for organizing this. It's really important, so if we can give it up for him real quick. I also want to give it up for White Rose, for Miller Green, for the other organizations that have been putting on these protests. It's important that we recognize the people who are organizing these events. I also want to give it up for yourselves real quick because you put your bodies on the line tonight. So give it up for yourselves real quick. I usually don't have too much to say, so I still don't have too much to say. I just think it's really important that we make the connections. We got to start making these intersections. And so we're talking about black lives, we're also talking about brown lives. We're talking about abolishing ICE. When I say abolish, you say ICE. Abolish! ICE! Abolish! ICE! Abolish! ICE! Abolish! ICE! We got to start making the intersections, and we got to start standing in solidarity. Yeah. We got to start talking about the Palestinian occupation.
Yeah! Yeah!
We got to start talking about the Palestinian occupation, man. It's really important because what's happening right now in our country, we are experiencing the violent face of fascism. We're literally in the midst of fascism. People talk about it as if it was in the history books, as if it was in the 1920s. We're literally living in fascism right now. If we do not stand up right now, then we are going to go into a dictatorship. I'm just going to be straight up with you.
Yeah.
And so we see that at the highest levels of the government right now. We see white supremacy at the highest levels of the government. And it's going to trickle down, it's going to permeate throughout the rest of the system. And so that's what we see at the local government level. We see Mayor Lucas, who's unafraid to stand up against the police chief. That's not right. That ain't 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 right. So my organization, Black Rainbow, and some of the other organizations met with Mayor Lucas about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we straight up asked him, are you going to stop accepting money from the Fraternal Order of Police? And he said no. That's just disappointing to me. You have a black man, just like those black people that we saw down there. Black people don't always have the right mindset. And so we got to change our own mindsets as well. We're out here to talk to white people right now because white people, you have a lot of the keys to dismantling white supremacy. But us as black people, we have to teach our own people as well. Because just because we're black doesn't mean we can't be racist. You can have a self-hatred mindset. That's what people like Malcolm X talked about. And so we have to dismantle these not only outside of our communities, but within our communities as well. And so that's why we talk about things like transformative justice. And we also talk about dismantling misogyny and patriarchy, specifically in our own organization. And I think it's important that we highlight the fact that organizations right now, we're kind of past that moment where there is 3,000 people in the plaza. It was easy for people to come out there at that point in time because LeBron James was tweeting about it. You know, all the celebrities were tweeting about it. It was really easy to come out there at that point in time. But the people that are still coming out here right now, it shows you have a specific dedication to the movement. Right. So that's why I told y'all to give it up for yourselves, because what's happening right now, the people that are still out here right now, this shows that you have a specific dedication to the movement. I need y'all to say, I am a revolutionary. 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 Being a revolutionary means we don't expect for the politicians to free us and liberate us. We understand that in order to revolutionize the system, we have to revolutionize ourselves. We have to revolutionize our consciousness. And so I think it's really important what Stacey said earlier. She said if we don't revolutionize our consciousness, then we could be out here protesting, but at the end of the day, we're going to end up recreating those same systems that we say that we're fighting against. Yeah. And so that's why we have to be against white supremacy. That's why we have to be against colonization. That's why we have to be against racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, Islamophobia, xenophobia. We have to be against all these things because if we're not, we're going to end up recreating those same systems. We're going to be just like our oppressors if we don't consciously go against these systems. So we have to educate ourselves. Not only reading books, there's a lot of ways you can educate yourself. Coming out here is one way. So the last thing I want to say to y'all is who killed Donnie Sanders? 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 Fire Chief Smith! 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 Remember Donnie Sanders! 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 We are not going to let Donnie Sanders' life go in vain. That's why we're still out here. We're going to stay on these streets until we get justice. Until we get justice for his family. Until his family gets justice. promise you that the police can come out here as many times as they want to. They didn't have a confrontation tonight. They didn't have a confrontation tonight, but all I want to know is, are y'all afraid of the police? No! Are y'all afraid of the police? No! Are y'all afraid of the police? No! Okay, thank you, Stacy. Appreciate it. Right.
Okay. Today was a hard march. And I wanted to take 2 minutes to talk to you after this march. It was a hard march for me because I am out here with my black, brown, and white brothers and sisters. And I was fighting. I was struggling against a man that looked just like me. And so let me tell you a quick story. Because he said you're supposed to be a peaceful protester. I ain't never promised nobody I was going to be peaceful. I said I was going to be nonviolent. And so people may not understand why we're out here. And so let me tell you why I am out here. Because we're going to be called to the table to ask and answer, why are you here? Why are you here? So on Thursday I had a book club meeting at my house. And I went to Costco with Brother Ray. And my ex-husband called me on the phone. While we were in Costco, I was getting a new Costco card. And he said, Stacy, the police have been following me. I may get pulled over. I need you to stay on the phone. And I said, okay, Mark, I'll stay on the phone. And so he said, Stacy, now I'm getting pulled over. No way. And I said, okay, stay calm. And my ex-husband is 6'3", he's muscular, and he can be aggressive, and he's not going to let anybody just talk to him any old kind of way. And so when the officer came to the side of the car, Mark said, why did you pull me over? And this is a man that I've never gotten a traffic ticket in the 20 years that I've known him. And the officer told him, because you forgot to put on your turn signal. And he said, officer, I know you're lying because I saw you following me for 3 blocks. I used my turn signal. And he said, no, you didn't. And he said, well, why are you going to give me a ticket? Because I've not done anything wrong. And as he was arguing with the officers, he stopped and said, Stacy, now there's 6 officers around my car, and they got their hands on their guns, and I'm standing here in the middle of a Costco, 3 hours away. And I said, Mark, I need you to listen to me. Are your hands on the steering wheel? He said, yes, my hands are on the steering wheel. Tell him I'm on the phone. He said, I got a lawyer on the phone. And I said, repeat after me, and don't you say another word. Am I being detained? They said yes. Why am I being detained? For a traffic violation. Then give me the citation. We're not detaining you for a traffic citation. We're detaining you on suspicion that your truck was at a murder scene. What?
That ain't right.
And I said, invoke your Sixth Amendment right to counsel. Tell him you want to speak to a lawyer. And he said, I want to talk to a lawyer, and I'm not saying nothing else. And he kept repeating, I'm not going to say anything else until you give me a lawyer, even though he had a lawyer on the phone. And as I'm standing in Costco, I was standing next to my brother Ray. And he saw me have my hands over my mouth because I was trying to keep myself from screaming. saying. Today might be the day that an officer has a bad day. Today may be the day that he makes a sudden move, and I will be standing in the middle of a Costco as a licensed attorney, and I could do nothing but keep myself from breaking down and crying. And so 2 people came up to me. They said, "Stacy, how you doing? We follow you. You don't know us, but we want to let you know that we support you." And I come to the refrigerated section where they had the naan bread. And I pulled it together for just a few seconds, and I'm like, "Thank you, brother and sister. I appreciate your support." But they did not know that I was wondering in the back of my mind what those shots would sound like. That I was preparing myself for how I would tell his son that was waiting at home for him that his father was murdered while I was standing on the phone in the middle of a Costco. That I was wondering if he had life insurance. That I was wondering how I was going to deal with the funeral. That I was 3 hours away at 6:45 at night, and I didn't know another lawyer in Wichita. I didn't know who to call. I'm just standing here in the middle of the damn Costco. And I started to cry because I couldn't hold my fear, my terror, and my helplessness back anymore. And as it kept escalating, and I begged him to be quiet, I didn't care about his rights. I didn't care what he had to tell the police. I didn't care that I was a lawyer. I didn't care about anything but making sure a man that I knew and I loved for 20 years got home to his baby. And so when you ask me why I am here, after sitting on the phone for an hour while 2 more police officers came to the scene, they were plainclothes detectives, and they talked everybody down. I remember thinking, what if he couldn't get me on the phone? He's a black man on the side of the road. He's a black man alone with 6 armed police officers that were not looking at his humanity. They were just waiting for an excuse to exert their unchecked power. And so after he got home, I said, before you get off this phone, let me tell you something. Even though you used to tell me not to go out in the streets, you said it was too risky, you said it was somebody else's fight. Now you know why I stay out in these streets. Because nobody should have to wonder if today is the day that their baby is going to get George Floyd treatment. That their baby is going to get shot in the back on a traffic stop. That their baby is going to be at the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong officer. And because he looks like a black man, he looks like the threat that we have allowed this country to paint him as, that he is going to receive a death sentence. And so I told him before I got off the phone, I said, Mark, I know you're traumatized by what happened to you today. Because I know and you know that today could have ended differently. And I told him, I am going to dismantle this police system. Even if I've got to take it down brick by brick with a pickaxe. This is why when people tell me that we need to reform this system, we need to put a Band-Aid on a gangrenous toe, they say that sometimes the only reasonable thing that you can do is radical. When you have gangrene on your toe, the surgeon's not going to come in and give you a Band-Aid.
No, they ain't.
That is body cameras. Because body cameras would have only recorded what I already heard on the phone if Mark would have been murdered while I'm in a Costco. When the surgeon comes in, he's not going to tell you to put some peroxide on it. He's not going to tell you maybe we need another oversight board. If he came in and told you that you need a Band-Aid or you need peroxide instead of cutting the foot off, you would call him a fraud. And so, if you have a system that is so corrupt, so sick, that you only have two choices, you either cut it off or you will lose your life.
Cut it off.
In that instance, and on a Thursday in Costco, while I'm on autopilot, while I'm trying to hold it together enough to say hello to two people that were encouraging me, we have to dismantle the racist and corrupt police system. Because if we do not dismantle it, it will mean another death sentence.
You're no good.
If we do not dismantle this systemic racism, this white supremacy, if we do not dismantle the enforcers of white supremacy, let me say it again.
Yeah.
The police were created as enforcers of white supremacy. I don't make the rules, I don't make the history. I don't make the rules, I don't make the history. The police were created to enforce white supremacy. And so we can't even talk about dismantling white supremacy and systemic racism without dismantling the enforcement arm. Does that make sense to you? And so when you say, my sisters say, Stacy, you sound like a radical when you say abolish the police. And I said, what would happen if somebody told you that you needed to keep that gangrene on your toe? Are you willing to lose your life to keep your toe? No. Are you willing to hand out another death sentence to keep your comfort? No. That is why I'm out here. And you will be called upon to answer why you are out here. And when you give your answer, it may change the entire revolution. I have been talking a lot about qualification. It doesn't matter if today's your first protest, if you've been an activist for 15 years or 15 minutes. People always quote that about me. And I'm wondering if they know why I say it. Because if you think that you have to be an activist for a certain amount of time, if you start putting qualifications on people becoming revolutionaries, we may miss our moment. Many of you are protesting for the first time since May 31st. When I first went to a protest, I wasn't going to go. My sister told me that I should go, and I just tagged along because they marched in front of my office. And then I saw the police mace a man until he fell down to to the ground. And they kept macing him after they dragged him away, after his friends dragged him away. And they kept macing him until I threw myself between the police officer and the man getting maced, and I got maced down my back.
That's not right.
Not right. And so it doesn't matter that it took me 37 years to realize how oppressed I was. It doesn't matter that it took me 37 years and getting arrested that I decided that I had had enough. So no matter what your reason, we are counting on you this week to share your story. This week on social media, this week on text message, 2 things. We're going to give you assignments every single week. It will be a different assignment. We're going to start adding on because we need to add numbers. We need to add momentum. So this week, you will share your story of why you're in this movement on social media and by text message. Every single person, no matter what you look like. If you are white, black, brown, I don't care. No matter who you love, no matter what gender you are, every single person I'm going to be watching, I should see 200 white stories on social media. And then I want you to challenge all of your friends and family to do the same thing and to bring them back next week. Because it's not enough for you to just show up and have a sign anymore. It's not enough. It's not enough. We are calling on you to be warriors in this resistance. Not just on Saturdays, not just at marches. We need you to be bold and resist at your jobs. Bold and resist at your kitchen tables. Bold and resist at your churches. Why do I only see 2 pastors in this crowd? Why do I only see 2 pastors? Why do I only see 3 attorneys? If you've been spending money with some people, you need to start calling them on the carpet. Right. If I spend my money with you, if I spend my money with you, if I tithe at your church, if I drop off my lawyer's fees, if I drop off my doctor's fees, if I drop off the money for a haircut, when are you showing up? Right. So 2 assignments. I want to see social media flooded with your why you were coming out here. I need you to tag KC Protests, because I'm going to be looking. I'm going to be watching all week. And I want you to send text messages to every single person in your family and 5 of your close friends why you were out here. Ashe! 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 All power to the people! Okay, last drill. We are going to practice speedy dispersal, speedy but safe. Speedy but safe. If you disperse, you need a group of 3. Before you leave, grab your group of 3. We're going to have 5 minutes to disperse. We're not doing the 5 minutes yet. Get your group of 3. Official witnesses, you need to come see me in the middle. Okay, everybody has their group of 3. Okay, we're going to start the timer quickly, safely. Disperse. Quickly, safely. Do not get hit by a car. And 5 minutes to disperse. 5 minutes.
Okay, guys, seeing as I'm here to give attention and help spread messages and voices, I'm going to speak again to someone here about, again, why. Excuse me. I know I spoke to you before. Would you mind giving another, again, telling people why you're here, if you don't mind?
That's his sister right there.
Yeah, we've talked before, but do you mind repeating to people why you're still here and why you have to keep coming out?
We're fighting for justice. Hoping that Jean Peters Baker do what she gotta do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So
that's my best friend. And I had some beds and all that stuff on 52nd and Wallbass. This memorial. They tore it all up. Took it away. Nobody don't know how it got taken or nothing. So we trying to raise some money, try to get another memorial on that area. I hope we could put it in the ground so they can't take it up.
Okay, so that was good. This is the first time.
Thank you.
One more time. And every time you do it, you're getting better and better.
So guys, that was the family of Donnie Sanders, again, telling people that they're here to still demand justice from the prosecutor. And it was also mentioned that his memorial was destroyed after it got put up, so they are trying to raise funds for another memorial. Yeah, and actually, like, I'm going to let them talk about it.
Yeah, we do have an organization. Well, we have somebody that's running an organization, Anton Washington. He's actually got a GoFundMe set up for memorial for Donnie.
That's my best friend.
There you guys go. And again, like, the crowd is kind of thinning out and getting ready to kind of head home. It was a more active protest than the last few, with a march included. So again, guys, this is pretty much it. And yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and close off for now and sign out. Again, this is Andre for the IMA here in Waldo, Kansas City, Missouri, at a protest rally. So there you are, and I'll see you guys next time, I'm sure.